Good evening. Welcome to another panel. We're having a feature on the Lords of the Dance, season 14. We're 2 games to go. We're 12 games in at the moment. And things have been wrapped up so far. Top of the league is Politis Amputees. He joins me on my left.
Hello.
How are you doing, sir?
I am in fine form, thank you.
Excellent.
Both literally and figuratively.
Fabulous, fabulous. And we're also joined by Dick Dastardly manager SimonFloyer.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a dick, so I'm glad to be here.
Fab. Excellent. So we've got our panel, and as I say, we're going to be focusing on the Lords of the Dance. How are we feeling, boys? 2 games to go. It's actually been announced. We've got a winner. We've got 2 relegation spots guaranteed. It's a flurry. It's a mixture in that mid-table there. What's the view of the current champion looking down upon this flurry?
Well, it's been interesting. I must say, I've enjoyed watching the battle from afar, from up top, as it were. It's obviously for me, it's been just great.
Oh,
I'm just saying,
yeah.
but for me, it's been great. It's just been easy wins, just picking up. It seems whatever I've done seems to have worked, and my form has been great. So I can't really comment too much. It's just everything. It's just been a perfect season.
It's easy to say that when you got something in the cabinet, I mean.
Yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
but
It
it
might
has
be
been,
second trophy as well. So
no one expected it. I didn't predict it myself. I don't predict it for next year, but for this year, I mean, it's been what it's been. So
Yeah.
nothing
A
much to
lucky
say.
season.
A lucky season, yeah.
Everywhere else, I'm enjoying it. It's looking. I'm enjoying now. With the results today, that the Burkers have now joined that fight, that tussle. Graham has sort of departed. I guess he's now sort of secured himself pretty much in 6th. I mean, he could get out, but I do intend on beating him next game.
Two tough games.
Yeah.
So but that should see him down in 6th, like locked in. So, second to 5th should be exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops.
You've got like the king on his throne already. You got the 2 scrubs who've been stamped on and killed early on, and then you've just got the rest just fighting out the main battle. So the winner of this is the real winner of the league, in my opinion.
And then to bring that into reality terms, those top 3, as you say, are current 3 people. So you could say we're almost the most qualified to have an opinion on these things.
Yeah, I'd say so. Although I'm a bit of a squire in disguise, I guess, in certain respects. But
hey, that's why there's
done
so
my
much.
job.
That's why there's so much beef flying around as of late in the media about Bareback's Brave. Geriatrics getting older, average age is creeping up, skills going down, form averages are not looking strong. Is a season of the Squires going to benefit him? Is it going to give him the chance to rejuvenate, to look to freshen up his average age?
I think it depends on what he does with this squad, really. I think he's got some good youths. He's definitely got players to build around, but
17-5.
it's whether
that's
17-6, bro.
Is it a 6?
Yeah, it's whether his form is going to be good and whether those players will continue to develop and what he does. Whether he makes the most of maximising his selling of the older players. I mean, we'll see.
To be honest, I hate to say it.
To be honest, I kind of expect him just to win the Squires, keep the similar team, win the Squires, come straight up, and similar things to happen in the Lords again. Him to be average in the Lords.
I see that happening, but in my opinion, looking forward long term, I think the best thing to do is really take advantage of the Squires, build his team a little bit more before he comes up. I'd say a couple of seasons down, then come back up. But then it depends on pride, doesn't it?
I mean, the only parallel we got is the season that's current, and that's Salamanders and Pussy Patrol. Pussy Patrol's up in promotion spot at the moment. Salamander's in 4th, is it 5th? 4th or 5th?
He's in the mix.
He's in the mix. It's still quite tight. But you've also got ASC Slaves there, really linking up. I know you don't really give much of the Squires, but
I just don't know what's going on.
Okay, that's fair enough. But with 2 guaranteed Squire spots now we have to look to who's coming up. Pussy Patrol look like they're rejoining us, which I'm pleased to see. A previous cup and league winner.
Yeah. Always a good time playing them.
I said for me, I feel like it's my duty really to, as the previous Squires champion, I've got to sort of shepherd them up.
You're the only one. The other Squire has suffered and is taking the bow down back.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm glad I stayed up in the Lords. I've earned my knighthood, and I intend to stay there.
You had a good season.
Yeah, I have.
So definitely, the second part to your season's been very strong.
7 wins out of the last 9 games, but at the end of the day, you could say I've hit teams at the right time. Things like that have gone my way, but at the same time, I kept my form high, and that's where my results come down. Come down to.
Presuming the cup final goes ahead as it should on Sunday, with 2 remaining games, I'm sure other teams who aren't in the cup are getting their friendlies in, popping up their DV. What do we see actually majorly happening in this big tussle in the middle? We got Burka versus the Bear Brats away, Bear Brats at home. They're coming off the back of a loss, although being 1-0 up against the current, the now current winners.
I still foresee you winning that game, if I'm honest. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to predict. I mean, it's been so crazy all year. You can't really predict it. But I do foresee you winning that game and holding on to second. I mean,
I agree.
Conversely to what you've gone on in the latter half of the season, mine it peaked about 2 or 3 games ago, and then my form started to dip, and I could recognise that my form was going to take a hit, and then I lost key games, which really that's what's brought me down into this jostle. So that has sort of been the catalyst to what I now feel is my form being too up and down for me to really predict a result against a bogey team where I'm away. So there's a lot of emotions going about the result of that, particularly as like you said, it's like 1 point and 2 points that divide each position, and Pete's looking strong. I mean, I'm relying a lot on you.
Well, as I said, Pete, he's going to love this, but he's my bogey team. He's the one I'm worried about in my last game. Sorry, I'm more worried about the game of him than I am of Pleaty. And that might seem weird.
That's it. The unique position we are in now, where a current winner has been announced. It really is all about DV and second. Am I going to hold on to it? Who's going to take it? Who's going to focus on DV? Get those extra games in.
I genuinely think you're going to hold on to second. I think those are both games you're definitely going to recover.
Who else is in the flurry though? It's me and Pete and you
and Krishna
and Larry. And then as you say, cemented sixth. Udder Milkers.
But it's just
it's getting sour over there, mate.
But tell you what, mate, bring it back to the cup. That's actually, I think, is going to have a big impact. Because Dream Team going against, if I'd have suddenly knocked them, give it a bit of bad form, give it a little chunk going into the game, and me going into the game with him, I mean, I've got cracking form. Suddenly, I could pull something out here, and my season could...
Well, if you win, that puts a lot of pressure on Jack, definitely.
Oh, massively, but at the same time, an away game against Dream Team is not easy. I said I'm relying on, I'm not relying directly, I'm pretty confident in my tactics, but...
You could almost say it's the first opportunity Larry, who's playing the Bilbo, the Christian is playing the Bilbo, and the Dream Team both of them have to boost their position here. He's playing a weak team, and and Pete's got a cup game.
I said, even though I'm in third, I'll say I've got a tougher run in than those two, but...
Larry's in a position to do well. Larry wants to obviously secure top 4, so...
Despite his nonsensical spoutings, he has got a team that is, competing at the moment.
Yeah,
there's a lot to compete for.
And whatever you want to say about the guy, his team's where
what have I got to say about the guy?
But he's in a shout where, again, Bilbo, easy points. And who's his last game against?
I can actually check.
I actually think it's Pete.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So if that's going to be the case, that's,
Tom?
1989. But if that's the case, then, that's...
Weird laugh.
That's, a massive game that Larry's capable of winning. Larry is capable of pulling out a result. He's shown time and time again. Full well. Not to rub it in, but full well. So, as you found out today.
All right, mate.
Way to rub it in.
1-0.
Let's project just a little bit in the future then, just a little bit. Now we have sort of a winner and losers. Who is coming up? And then are those people going to do damage? Like the Pussy Patrol we know are pretty much going to come up. And are they going to step into the Dick Dastardly boots? And
to be honest, I don't foresee either. I don't foresee either of those teams or any of the teams in the Squires being able to make the same impact that the Dastardly made this year. I just think they'll be fighting to stay up, and I think there'll be a few teams that they'll be competing with for that. I don't think they'll be necessarily going straight back down. But I think the people that will be contending next year will be the same people that were contending this year. Really, I don't think their teams, or to be honest, their managers have the mustard, as it were, to hang and to compete for the top. So.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. But then again, the thing with the laws, and one of the reasons why now I absolutely love it these days, it's so intense. If you get that bad run of form going, it can really
and it can put you in a mood. It can genuinely put you in a foul one.
Yeah, even if you have a good team, it can really pull you down. Especially as a lot of the teams you have much stronger teams, but at the end of the day, overall, they're still reasonably close. If players play out their skin.
And expert's expert, it does roll the dice sometimes,
yeah.
it really can.
You're not going to know who you're going to get in the cup either. You might have a really tough draw at the beginning.
That's going to be a really fancy notion for next season with the non-seeding.
Yeah, so you could potentially have, like, the beginning of your season, just like 2 really tough games thrown in there amongst everything else. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's nice to feel that there's a real mixing pot aspect to the league now. It's not just you're playing. If you're in that top 4, you are playing consistently every game a tough game theoretically.
Yeah. Exactly.
Any other person, any other Joe's a competitive play. So if the idea that there's this mixing pot and you can really pull out a free game, it's really and against someone who may be playing another tough one, it's a nice idea. And conversely, even if you have more tough games, it can still push you on a bit to just get your form up.
Well, you got to remember, if you have a tough run at the beginning and you come out of it,
your form can rocket.
Then you can be in a great state of play going forward. When you get that really tough middle and it fucks you, then your season term. I'm just going to read out the top 4 of the squires just so we have an idea of where it's at. Well, obviously Pussy Patrol out top on 25. Window Lickers on 23. They're in the promotion spot right now. And 3 points behind them is AFC Slaves on 20 and the Salamanders on 19. So, Window Lickers, especially with a home game against the Slaves next, that could really decide it. If they beat the Slaves, then I think we've got our two promotion candidates. Obviously, the Window Lickers have got a very tough friendly against Dick Darcy coming up in their form.
Yeah, as AFC Slaves have got one against the Burka.
Exactly.
So that can actually genuinely matter.
Lord's good influence.
We should check the average form of that league just to see what damage could be done.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Window Lickers are they're an experienced Lords team back in the day of 10 teams to 10 teams, 12 teams. So they've got experience. I mean, admittedly they came nearly bottom every season, bar the Treebeards.
Yeah.
But they know what it means to play these clubs. But on a regular basis, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You got an inside view. Let's focus on the Windows because technically they're the ones fighting for this promotion spot. Pussy Patrol are just fighting for first or second. What is it like when you go into a game against the Lickers?
Sounds funny, yeah. I it's hard to really comment, having not been in there. As obviously I was there back in the day, but I don't remember any
Those
of my
days are
squad.
gone.
I don't. They were a blur. It was very short-lived, wasn't it?
I don't want to seem kind of crass here, but I kind of feel like no one's listening to this podcast to hear us talk about squires.
This guy, he's such an elitist.
So, especially because this
is for everyone. We don't want the squires to get put off. Admittedly, we get that banter, but on a pub, on a platform like this, we give time to the.
You got to remember, this is an impact on next season.
It does affect us. Think about it. We want to project in the future. All that's left now for you, particularly, is to just play the rest of the season.
Yeah,
you
got to enjoy it, mate.
You want to know who's
my
there.
guys are going to go out there and they're just going to. Hopefully still get a few points.
So therefore it's worth knowing about these people and thinking about...
So next season when the Window Lickers beat you 1-0 at yours and you really saw about it, if you had listened or delved a bit more into the information...
Who knows? We're not saying that's going to happen, but why not rule that out and just listen and, give it your just
Because I think it's interesting what's going on in the middle of the pack. I wonder what's going to... the effect that the two guys who essentially know they're going down, the effect they're going to have, those games where they're going to compete and potentially create a few upsets and that will make that middle of the league that's been so wild finish with an absolute bang, or are things going to sort of...
Well, I'm sure we would have steered round to that topic. We didn't have to
definitely. You got to remember as well. I'm a massive
that's just what I care about. That's what I'm thinking
about.
I
think it's a very important division.
I guess.
Personally, and if you win it, it's better than winning the Lords.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, fair enough, Simon. Sorry.
It's nice having a medal in your cabinet, but it's not a trophy.
Yeah, well,
it's a little medal.
I've got that in there.
And all it can really do is spur you on every time you log in and see that and just go, I deserve to be here.
I'm a medal winner.
Do you know what I mean? And I rate it, but let's appease the petulant child.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those, that bottom two. Tristan's the only one really worth talking about because at the end of the day, although the Athletic Bilbao, they got promotion and all that jazz, if you so wish, haven't competed this season. They've consistently pulled out good playing strength, but never got a result. So their DV's flying high, but they're just gone now.
Norman was saying as well at the beginning of the year, or beginning of the season rather, how he was feeling good for the season. And his team was alright, but
yeah, he was playing well.
happened.
I mean, his team was playing well, but they just weren't getting the goals or results just because the average age was so low and our keepers are strong. So it meant that although he was having great times with his DV, which if his word is true, that's his long game. Fair enough, that he's done well, and he even predicted at the start of the season he was going back to the squad.
He never claimed anything other than relegation.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting relegated. I'm getting relegated.
You got to give credit to the man there. He's gone and said, I can't just impact the Lords just like this, so I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to wait until I am strong enough so I can compete. And that's and
he's done exactly that, and he's going to reap the benefits. I know, for example, Stanis Baratheon's on 18 DV.
Yeah.
18-4. With excellent attributes. That's where the value is, because if you get a double in straight away and get to a 26 with attributes,
line, yeah. 18-4 could be a 21-8. I've done it with Paolo Giuliano, so it's doable.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's got better attributes than Paolo. So.
But as I say, in terms of that actual impact on those last two games, it's only the Bear Brats that can really do something, because they're playing two big games. It's Burkett.
And what do you think of the guys in the middle? I mean, I suppose you guys can speak as actual players.
I'm playing Graham.
You guys can speak as players who are actually involved in it. What's your, sort of swing between DV and trying to win at this point? Knowing you obviously can't actually win anything real, it's just about pride at this point. How much does that factor in when you're...
That can only apply in the situation that you're in at the time, and I can only give my judgment from where I am in second, 23 points, and only 2 points clear of third. And that's it. These are two breakneck games. First one is a toughie, it's 50-50, like you say. So my intention is, with the DV I've got as well, I'm just dead chuffed that I've already got 4 players in each section that could play. Obviously not the forwards as well. I could put out a 4-4-2, that's as a standard. Do you know what I mean? That's the standard formation, so that's how many players you can put out. Easy, and I have got no DV concerns. So. I would want to go for the win. I want to try something like that.
Okay,
but
so
at the same time, it's not worth thinking about that, because I've got next season. I've got Pete Petrelli. I've got players that need the attention. So DV is still an overriding factor in my opinion. I couldn't say either way.
If we said hypothetically, so imagine you were, say, Simon, Pete, Larry, or say even Graham, who's obviously going to potentially try and climb up again a little bit to save some face. How much would you be ranking wins against DV if you were them?
I think I'd want to do as much damage as possible while still fielding a DV team. So it would come down to my tactics. I'd want to get a really just fuck someone up, like Pete did to me last season. He got that opportunity, he took it, and he played a DV team and it pulled out, and he got a draw. That's what your ideal situation is.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me. And I know I always bring this up, but they do kind of go hand in hand. Because you need to get that average form up and things like that. And so for me, it was always a case of getting relegation out of the way first. Again, just based on my scenario, my situation. Everything's going to be dependent on your situation as a team. And I just wanted to cement my place in the Lords, beyond thinking of anything else. And DV just kind of comes along with that.
Yeah, you have to kind of judge it as you approach it.
Yeah, exactly. And now, you could say now that I'm safe, I should don't just focus on DV, but at the same time, you've got to look at my team. They're such an old team anyway. I couldn't make huge drastic changes, otherwise I would drop down. So victories did become important. So I'm doing it a lot more gradual than I would, say, in an official league or things like that. I've got to taper it a lot more. So I've got two youngsters coming through, and now in these last 2 games, DV is going to be important, but I can still feel a strong team with those 2 youngsters. So yeah, it's an interesting one. There's a lot of pride. A lot of pride in the Lords, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the difference between other divisions. Just beating someone who could be competing or where you finish is actually kind of you can chat shit, can't you? So.
And like most of it, it all ties back to the fact that it's such a competitive league with active managers and just that edge of seriousness that can really make you think about every single game.
It's like, as we were saying earlier when we were touching upon how, we were saying how Larry's result today was probably his best result ever for his club.
Yeah, just on the prestige of who he played.
Yeah, but it's sort of like that. You beat Graham, you beat Pete, you beat yourself. Any of those guys, there is a prestige, and hopefully I like to think I'm starting to get to that point.
You've
If
got
you-
a
you
league
beat-
win now.
you beat-
Maybe not yet.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm
about
hopefully
the
one
MCs.
day. But you beat
That's
those
a lucky
guys.
team.
It is significant. It is a significant achievement that you've managed to get a team together that's.
Oh, you've made your
gone
name
out
now.
and
You have made your name. Like
beaten one of
people
those
will be
guys.
aware of you.
I'm just sorrowful it took 6 seasons to do it. It took me 4.
Well,
Yeah, but
it's
you-
a lot harder. It's
yeah, it's a lot
And he had a,
To
he had a
make an
boosted
impact
team.
now.
He had a boosted team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But let's not bring out that old fucking chestnut.
I think I've won it in a emphatic enough fashion to
But
allow it.
let's see if you get 0 losses, then I will obviously give you kudos.
But I'm not really that fussed. I don't know. We'll see. I guess see our next game against Real goes.
Well, let's do that. Thank you for joining us. That was a good chat. I feel we left no stone unturned.
Uncunned.
Fucked up the end, though.
Unconned. Yeah, never mind. But
No one's
again,
listened to this point. It doesn't matter.
This guy, he's so pessimistic. I hate him.
yeah,
I'll
at
be
least,
listening.
at least,
No, I
wait.
would've
At least
listened.
let me turn off the fucking recording before you do that, man. Peace.